Hello and welcome to another Warcraft 3 audio commentary. This is going to be a 1v1 game, Elf versus Human on Tyrannus Stand, against my opponent Malbiko, I guess. And anyway, I'm going to be the Elf player in this game, and my opponent is going to mostly be doing a standard opening Archmage Footman, Arcane Tower, yada yada, and I'm going to be going for a Dark Ranger with a Naga Sea Witch, Archers, two Druids of the Talon, and Dryads. Now this strategy, I believe, is pretty decent against Human a lot of the time, especially if they're going for sort of a standard opening. They do have some strong counterplay options at Tier 2, which you're going to sort of see in this game. But the main sort of strength of the strategy is you're going to have a pretty strong Tier 2 push if you do it correctly. And you're going to sort of see how that works out, even though I don't exactly execute it perfectly here. So my opponent, of course, is going to do some militia creeping here. He's going to go straight for the lab and get that done. And I'm going to be going to creep as well. Now, the way you do this strategy, or the way I do this strategy, is I try to creep to level 3 before I get to Tier 2. Harassing isn't really generally going to be that effective, I don't think, early on with this hero. The main goal is to get level 2 Dark Arrow, and so when you get Tier 2, you can add the Naga Sea Witch, and with the Frost Arrow and the level 2 Dark Arrow, and then slowly getting Druids of the Talon and Dryads, you can have a really strong Tier 2 push because for two reasons. One is until they get their second hero and casters and such, level 2 Dark Arrow is going to be very, very strong, especially in conjunction with Frost Arrow against Footmen and Militia. And also against their hero, if they get a little bit careless, you can potentially even sort of put a lot of pressure on the hero. And as the battle goes on, your army is going to get bigger with the dark minions that you get from Dark Arrow, and they're going to be even better than the archers against say Militia and defended footmen if they had defend and whatnot. So, and again, you can either get silence or drain life. Silence is pretty useful at messing up the timing of Stormbolt, hitting sorceresses or priests potentially, and of course Drain Life is going to help you keep your Dark Ranger alive. Once they get the Mountain King out, you can, if they Stormbolt you, then you can go ahead and cast Drain Life, sort of get the hit points back up, and it's pretty good. So as you can see, I've gotten level 3 now. I also generally will pick up a Boots of Speed with the strategy. The main point of that is the Naga Sea Witch, the movement speed is pretty bad, and you really want to get, have the Naga moving quickly so you can secure unit and potentially hero kills, as well as avoid getting sniped because the Naga's hit points are pretty low, as it's an intelligence hero. And that's generally going to be, she's generally going to be a big target, right when you get her at level 1. So anyway, here my opponent is going to come in and attack. Generally, with this strategy, you like to be the one on the offense. I got a little bit caught off guard there, even though I did sort of see he was coming up towards the top of the map with a skeleton earlier. He comes in there, gets a archer kill. He's got level 3 as well, so he did a good job of creeping, and he's got claws of attack and a boots of speed himself, as well as dust. I'm going to micro pretty poorly here and lose another archer. So that was pretty much his advantage there. So and one other thing you can do with the Naga that I hadn't really taken advantage of too much in other games, but the slow arrow on units lasts, I believe, 5 seconds every hit. So you can go back and forth between a couple of different targets. 2 at least should be pretty easy to get. Now it's not as the duration is not as long on heroes. I think it's only like 1.5 seconds or something. So If you're going to switch back and forth between a hero and a unit, it's not really the same. But if you're going back and forth between 2 units, you can essentially lock up 2, maybe even 3 units for, you know, sort of an overlap, which is gonna sort of be like having a sorceress a little bit if you if you sort of go really try hard and switch between units. You can really slow down multiple units with the Naga at the same time. Also, another thing I'll point out here is the rally point or rallying your units is really sort of important with this strategy, and the timing is sort of really important. Since Human has such strong counters to this at tier 2, once they get the Arcane Sanctums and stuff, you really need to get an advantage before that happens. Also, before they get tier 3, of course, because with a Paladin, they can get a lot of pressure on your Dark Ranger and stuff like that. So, but anyway, I didn't have my rally set in this game, so right now the Dryads should be on the way to my army, which would be very useful. As you're going to see, all my archers get pretty much killed here. And again, my sort of macro isn't great. I'm at like 500 gold, so I should be using that gold. Getting a couple more archers probably would have been good. And I'm not really doing that, but I'm getting dots and dryads, but the problem is I didn't rally them, so they're not showing up here, whereas otherwise I would have had a dryad around to sort of slow this Mountain King, potentially saving that Naga. As it stood, it didn't work out for me, but I did drag his Mountain King into the creeps and still get the kill as he wasted his town portal. So that's sort of a valiant attempt on his part, but it didn't really work out too well for him. So we both lost our second hero. And that really sort of is to his advantage, because I finally noticed that my rally wasn't set, so I had to, bring these units here. But the reason I say it's to his benefit is the Human, I didn't really do any damage to his economy, which is generally one of the other points of the strategy you want to do. So now he knows. He actually didn't see any dryads or dots yet, so he doesn't technically know what I'm going for. He probably needs to be a little bit curious or scout or something to figure out that I'm not going for Chimera, because he really is light on the anti-air. Now he does have a workshop, which could be used to get like flying machine or flying engines and or siege flying machines and siege engines as anti-air, which could be pretty strong. Alternatively, he could throw up a Griffin Aviary to go for Dragonhawk Riders. But right now he's going for Spellbreakers and Mortar Teams, which is one of the strong counters to the strategy. Of course, the Breakers are going to deal with the Druids of the Talon and Fairy Fire very easily. The Mortar Teams are going to do extra damage to both Dryads and Dots. Also, they allow him to pressure my base if it comes to that. So his army is pretty well set up against mine. And again, the level 2 water elementals, even though I've got dryads, they're still pretty annoying a lot of the time. And now he's going to bring in his militia. And this is one of the issues, or one of the strengths of the strategy, and a lot of times people don't really understand as the Human player. He potentially did know that his militia are going to get sort of slaughtered a lot of times if he engages me, but he sort of, his units, really were just better than mine right there, and that's sort of the problem with this. If you don't do enough damage with the push, like if you sort of just break even, a lot of times the Human is going to be in a good situation there. So now I need to figure out what to transition into, because these mortars are doing a massive amount of damage to my units, and it's going to be just really difficult to fight him, because with Stormbolt and essentially infinite mana with Brilliance Aura, Spellbreakers in the mix, it's going to be hard. So I'm transitioning to add in some Hippogriff Riders. The reason for this is he is very limited on his anti-air. I noticed that he hasn't been adding any sorceresses yet. The mortar teams don't add anti-air, so the only real anti-air things he's got is level 2 water elementals, his Archmage, and Stormbolt. though that is a pretty sort of decent fallback. He doesn't really need to mass anti-air. He is going to be sort of okay with just what he's got right now. But if the Hippogriff Riders, if I get like, 4, 5, maybe 6 Hippogriff Riders, then he's really going to have to worry about that. And again, it's going to allow me to kill his Arcane Tower very quickly, and then potentially harass his workers, which I should be doing right now. Looking for a sort of pitched battle isn't exactly the greatest idea for me. I'd be much rather go for these damaged workers here, and that's really what I'm gonna sort of try to do here. As I come into his base, I kill one peasant there. I go straight for the Arcane Tower. He spots my expansion up here, but he realizes he probably doesn't have enough time to deal with that. He could have probably stayed and maybe tried to kill it, but at any rate, we have a fight here. I don't really want to engage this sort of as a pitched battle. I need to just go harass his workers. So I sort of mess up here, and I do kill his mortar teams, or kill at least one of the mortar teams there. I think I kill all the mortar teams, which is going to be very useful. But the problem is, as I kill the mortar teams, he is getting sort of free shots on the Hippogriff Riders, and I'm going to be a little bit careless here and end up wasting the town portal and TPing all the Hippogriff Riders out. That was a mistake as well. I could have TP'd out, but still harassed with the air. So that was sort of another mistake on my part. The more time I give him with the strategy, each time I sort of reveal my hand in terms of what units I'm getting, or just giving him time to get his teched army is going to be sort of become an issue as it goes, because now he's going to have a paladin coming out, which, like I said, can offer a lot of pressure. It can help save his units very easily, and I don't really have the army to even pressure the paladin at level 1. I mean, I can try to get that kill, but it's sort of not even worth the effort because he's a strength hero. He's only level 1. He's going to dance around, and the real threats from his army a lot of times are going to be the other stuff. The Archmages, the Water Elementals, the Breakers, the Mortar Teams potentially. And now it looks like he's adding in Siege Engines, which, if he gets the rocket upgrade, those are going to be able to hit the Hippogriff Riders. It's going to be a very strong counter, and I don't really have anything to deal with Siege Engines. So, but as I said, with the Frost Arrow, with the Boots of Speed, Fork Lightning, and Dryads and Hippogriffs, it's going to allow me to chase down heroes. I can sort of ignore his Spellbreakers a little bit. Sadly, I didn't realize his Paladin was going to come out there and save the Mountain King. I should have, if I'd have been paying close attention, that Mountain King would have still died. But I pulled my units off because I thought he was dead. So that was sort of an error on my part. So this actually looks like it could have been a close sort of, or an interesting ending if he would have stayed. I think I still had the advantage. It was going to take some time for his Archmage to come out. He didn't have the tower up and everything, so he probably still was going to be in a little trouble, especially if I went for his workers, which hopefully I would have done. That was pretty much the one thing you can do if you've got air units against a human player, whether it's Wind Riders or Hippogriff Riders or Chimera or Destroyers, is you can sort of sneak into their base, and especially if they have sort of not very much anti-air at the time, you can do a ton of damage to his economy. I probably could have killed like eight workers with no losses there. So again, that's going to be pretty much the sort of the rundown of the strategy. Again, I should have rallied my units, because the timing is, with this strategy, the timing is sort of everything. The timing and the creeping. You need to get level 3. It doesn't really work with level 1 and 2 running in there. The Dark Ranger just doesn't quite do enough damage. The skeletons just aren't as strong. And the big thing is killing. One of the strong things is if they bring out their militia to try to defend, that's almost a mistake, because unless they micro it like flawlessly, they're going to end up losing militia incredibly quickly. And for each one they lose to Dark Arrow, you're going to get another skeleton. And the skeletons, again, do normal damage. So they're going to just destroy militia. And again, with level 2 Dark Arrow and Frost Arrow, and archers, dryads, and druids of the Talon, those militia are going to fall really quick, and that's going to slow his economy down and really hurt him in terms of teching into the other stuff, like going to tier 3, getting maybe a workshop along with 2 sanctums, or whatever combination he wants, upgrades. It's going to show up somewhere if you manage to kill like 4 or 5 peasants. If he wants to like fast expand at some point in the game, hopefully you can prevent him from doing that. If he already did fast expand before your push, then he's probably going to be sort of limited on his army. His tech, of course, is going to be delayed, so that again should help you out. Though if he masses towers at his guard towers or arcane towers at his main base and his expansion, if he gets like 3 to 4 towers, along with footmen, it can be pretty difficult to sort of siege that type of a base, even with like dots and archers, because dots take extra from guard towers. Archers, they're okay, but footmen are sort of really strong against them, and again, dryads, of course, also going to be taking a lot of damage, and again, dryads and archers do piercing, which is not great against fortified armor or heavy armor. It's not really great against that either. So, but that's going to be the end of this one. Hopefully you got sort of a good idea of the strategy. You saw some of the weaknesses there, and in terms of like if your timing is a little off, you maybe miss your rally points, your macro is not that great, or if you get into trouble and the Naga gets focused down, that's going to of course set you back. It's not the same sort of threat when you don't have frost arrows in the equation, or forked lightning. So again, the hero damage, of course, is going to be important. If they get defend and stuff like that. So anyway, that's going to be the end of this audio. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And until next time, this is ScryMind signing out.